my channel. My name is Anya, and today my mom is here. Say hello.
Hi.
And she's going to be teaching me about the carbon cycle.
Okay, Anya. First, listen to me what I'm saying. What is carbon? You know what is carbon?
It's an element.
What is the symbol of carbon?
C.
And how much percentage of carbon in the atmosphere?
I'm not sure, but I know that our body has 20%.
20% carbon. What about the environment? Environment has like less than like 0.03%. Okay.
That's so less actually.
Yeah. And carbon is one of the natural element in the all 90 elements. There are total 90 natural elements and carbon is one of them. Okay, I'm reading and you listen to me.
Okay, should I take notes?
When I'll tell you, then you take notes.
Okay, should I start here?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen up first, listen to me. Earth and the air have only a certain amount of carbon. This carbon moves through nature in cycle. A cycle is a pattern that happens again and again and again. In the carbon cycle, the limited amount of carbon on earth is reused in many forms of all living things. So what do you understand? जो कार्बन है, कार्बन available in a limited amount which can be reused in different forms. Okay?
How?
And that's what I'll tell you.
Okay.
The carbon cycle begin when plants take in carbon compounds from the air. Okay, carbon cycle कैसे begin होता है? जब plants जो हैं, वो जो atmosphere में जो carbon हम लोग जो exhale करते हैं, उस carbon को plants absorb
Oh yeah,
करते हैं.
because they need carbon to survive.
Yes. When animal eat plants, they take in carbon from the plants. So जो animals होते हैं, जब उनको carbon चाहिए होती है, वो plants को जब खाते हैं, तो उनको they get the carbon. The cycle is complete when animal put carbon back into the air by breathing out carbon compounds. Some carbon stored in plants and animals also goes into earth when they die. Every living thing uses and creates carbon compound in the carbon cycle. For millions of years, carbon has moved through the endless cycle. Okay. Now you have to write down here carbon cycle.
In the black pen.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Mama.
So how this carbon cycle happens?
Mama,
Yes.
can I use the table?
Yes, of course you can use it. So Anya, look here. This is the carbon which is from the factories. The carbon is going into the atmosphere. Okay, these animals, when these animals are dying, their carbon is also going in the earth. When animals,
This is
and when animals are breathing, then they are like when they exhale, the carbon comes out in the
Yeah.
atmosphere, right?
like
So
a process. Like
yeah,
inhale,
so
exhale.
all the carbon coming into the atmosphere, and these are the trees and plants through the photosynthesis process, they absorb all the carbon and then they give us oxygen. So this is the
Yeah.
carbon cycle. Okay.
Mama, I have a question.
Yes.
If plants absorb the carbon, how are they? So it's like plants absorb carbon and we take out carbon?
When plants die, when human beings die, so हमारे अंदर भी तो carbon
Yeah.
होती है. When we die, we become fossil. So fossil is also a type of carbon, right?
Like, so plants cannot give carbon, but they can take carbon, but we cannot take carbon.
No, plants, yes, you are right. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to make this cycle in your notebook.
Okay, right now?
Yeah, make it right now.
Okay.
Right
With
now,
the
make.
colors or just?
Use the colors. And then you have already understood the carbon cycle. Now
Yeah.
we will understand about carbon in the air. Okay, carbon moves through the air in the form of gases. Okay, the most common carbon compound gas is called
Carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide. People and animals make carbon dioxide gas when they breathe, right? When they breathe, they exhale? They exhale carbon and we inhale oxygen, right?
We exhale carbon and they inhale it.
Yeah, plant inhale our carbon. We
Yeah.
exhale the carbon. So carbon dioxide is made up of two elements. What are the two elements in carbon dioxide? One atom of carbon and two
atoms of oxygen.
Yes. Scientists use a formula to show which element join together to make up a compound. The formula for carbon dioxide is what?
CO2.
Yes. A formula also shows how many atoms of each element are in a molecule. A molecule is the smallest part of a compound. The C in the carbon dioxide's formula means there is one carbon atom in a molecule of carbon dioxide. The small 2 besides the O means there are 2 oxygen atoms in the molecule. Rightly what?
Question.
Yes.
So CO2 is carbon dioxide and C is carbon. So
Yes. So we cannot take C. C is like
Yeah.
coal or charcoal. So
not
we
compound, just
Yeah.
element.
just element. So whatever carbon goes inside us, it goes in a molecule thing, like it goes in a compound like CO2. We cannot take like only C. Okay.
And we can't only take O.
Yes.
Oxygen.
Yeah. So now this is the carbon in the air. Now we'll go to the next thing, the carbon
you.
in the plants. No, you should write everything later, everything
Okay.
together. Right? Now we'll talk about the carbon in plants.
Also, fun fact,
Hmm.
if you don't know this, oxygen, we never read oxygen just as an element. It has to be like O2. Two
Yes,
atoms.
it's a molecule. O2.
Yeah.
In the carbon cycle, plants take carbon from the air and use it to grow. Okay, so plants क्या करते हैं? They take carbon from the atmosphere and they use it to grow because they do photosynthesis. For photosynthesis, carbon is required, right? Many plants get carbon from carbon dioxide gas. They take it in through tiny holes in their leaves called stomata using a process called photosynthesis. You know what is stomata? Stomatas are the
Holes.
tiny holes on the leaves. Okay, they open and close. Open and-
Microscopic
Very
holes.
yes. Plants use carbon dioxide, sunlight, and water to make food. Plants make food called glucose during the photosynthesis. Okay, it takes 6 atoms of carbons to make one molecule of the. Can you tell me the formula of photosynthesis process?
Okay, I think I remember. Okay, 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O in the presence of sunlight, C6H12O6 plus 6 O2.
Good, very good, Anya. Very good. You know.
I know.
The carbon compound that जो carbon compound से जो food बनता है plant का उसको glucose बोलते हैं. Okay, they make glucose.
Is-
Plants use glucose for energy to grow. So जो वो glucose C6H12O6 is what? It is a glucose.
And
Yes.
is glucose like sugar?
Yeah, actually glucose has also different compounds. So what sugar we eat, that is sucrose. Glucose, sucrose, and there are many other sugar forms,
Yeah.
but we eat sucrose. Glucose is a kind of energy. It gives energy. Without glucose, plants could not make stems, leaves, needles, flowers, fruit, vegetable, or any other part. So glucose is very much needed for the plant growth. Okay. During photosynthesis, plant also give off oxygen gas. People and animals need to breathe oxygen gas to stay alive. In turn, people and animal use oxygen to create the carbon dioxide what plants need. So can you see, this is the sunlight.
Yeah.
In the presence of sunlight and the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and the water and nutrient they take from the earth, from the earth's surface, groundwater.
like aquifers.
Yeah, and then they make the oxygen and they make.
So this is the diagram we're looking at. Basically, sunlight comes for to plants for photosynthesis. Plants can also take water nutrients from groundwater, and plants absorb carbon dioxide and give out oxygen.
Okay. Now you already learned about carbon compounds. Carbon move in cycle. Carbon is in the air, carbon in the plants, and now we will read about carbon in animals. So carbon in animals, the carbon cycle continues as animals eat plants and take in carbon from the glucose in plants. So हम लोग भी प्लांट्स खाते हैं ना, वी ईट
Yeah.
प्लांट्स, तो सम कार्बन वो ग्लूकोज में जो सी कंपाउंड होता है दैट आल्सो गोज इनसाइड अस, राइट? Animal stores some carbon in their bodies after eating plants. So animal also get carbon from eating the meat of other animals. The hamburger you eat for lunch, for example, we eat chicken, we eat
Yeah.
fish or mutton. Everything has some compound of carbon. Like not really carbon dioxide, but carbon element. Okay,
I
I'm
have
not.
a question.
Yes.
Like, what about carnivore? Like carnivore.
So carnivore animals, they eat other animals.
Yeah.
So they also have.
And there's
carb-
other animals.
Yes, so it's a
Oh.
chain, food chain, like food chain. Animals use a process called respiration. You know what is respiration?
It's basically like breathing.
Yes. Respiration to move the carbon in their bodies back into the air. During respiration, animal breathe in oxygen. This oxygen is used to oxidize or burn glucose. Okay, when glucose burns, it turns into carbon dioxide. So जो glucose हम खाते हैं through plants, through chicken or meat, so when we do this respiration process, तो जो कार्बन होती है ऑक्सीडाइज हो जाती है, देन दिस ग्लूकोज, जो ग्लूकोज कार्बन गोज इन आवर बॉडी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ग्लूकोज, देन दिस ग्लूकोज कन्वर्ट इनटू कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड.
Because it.
And this carbon dioxide is not really needed in our body. It will be toxic to our body. That's why we need to exhale it.
Yeah.
When the glucose convert into carbon dioxide, then it come out from our body.
So when glucose, like how to say, meets oxygen,
Yeah.
like the oxygen oxidizes the glucose.
Yes.
It makes like we learned about.
We
it.
take energy from the
Yeah.
glucose. Whatever energy is required, energy get absorbed by our body, and whatever left, the carbon dioxide reaction होता है ना,
Oh.
when the carbon and oxygen reacted, then it makes
Glucose.
carbon dioxide, and then CO2 came out of our body.
I get it now.
You get it?
So we take in the energy from glucose, and whatever energy we did not take in that's left, it meets with oxygen to make carbon dioxide, and it might be toxic. So we,
Yes.
Okay.
You understood?
yeah.
Your body needs energy to move, grow, keep your heart beating. Your body needs energy to move, grow, keep your heart beating, and do many other things. After animals breathe carbon dioxide into the air, plants again use that carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Okay? So understood?
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
You get it? So how the cycle is moving? पहले कैसे कार्बन है एटमॉस्फेयर में, फिर एटमॉस्फेयर से वो कार्बन एयर में है, एयर से कैसे प्लांट्स में जा रही है, फिर एनिमल्स में जा रही है, फिर उसके बाद एनिमल और प्लांट्स हम लोगों के थ्रू फिर से एटमॉस्फेयर में जा रही है. तो देयर आर टू पार्ट्स. ओके,
And it can always be reused.
yeah, it can, because it's a cycle.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
it is, there are two parts. Okay, carbon moves through two parts in the carbon cycle. Okay, it moves through how many parts? Two parts. In both parts, carbon begin as carbon dioxide and enters plant through the photosynthesis. So carbon जब प्लांट्स के अंदर जाती है तो फोटोसिंथेसिस के थ्रू जाती है. इन द कार्बोहाइड्रेट पाथ, कार्बन मूव्स बिटवीन प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स इन कंपाउंड्स कॉल्ड कार्बोहाइड्रेट. Carbohydrates are food such as glucose that give plants and animal energy. In the protein path of carbon cycle, animal takes carbon from the plants and animals they eat in compounds called protein. So जो protein होता है उसमें भी carbon element होता है. So it moves in two cycles. One is in the form of glucose, and one glucose in the sense carbohydrate. Glucose is carbohydrate like potato and all, and other in the form of protein. Your body uses protein to grow and fix itself and for energy. In the final part of the protein part, carbon goes into the earth when an animal dies and its body decay or rots. During this process, the body slowly breaks down into basic elements and carbon is put into the earth. Carbon dioxide also goes into the air during decaying process. Explain to me.
Like when an animal dies, if all the carbon goes into the earth and in the atmosphere, how is there still carbon in the protein?
No, you didn't understood. Like we eat protein, right?
Yeah.
प्रोटीन में भी कार्बन एलिमेंट होता है. Protein, what is protein?
Protein is like
Chicken,
chicken,
fish, right?
Yeah.
So that the crab that have protein, and carbohydrate is basically like wheat, rice, and your potato. So two kind of foods. They are two different foods, but both have carbon. Both have carbon elements, and we eat. So both these elements, both these food give us carbon. And when carbon is in our body, and when the carbon which we eat in the form of different compounds, when it reacts with the oxygen in our body which we take from the atmosphere, then the oxygen and the compounds react with each other. Then the whatever energy is required by our body, it takes rest, become CO2 and goes out of our body. Okay, and when the animal dies, there is some carbon in animal body. When the body decay, right, you know,
You like decomposes?
yeah, decomposes.
By decomposers.
Yeah, so there's that kind of carbon is also goes into the atmosphere.
Okay.
Now fossil fuel. Now it's,
So there is carbon in the protein.
yeah, the world gets most of its energy from
Wait,
fossil.
Mama.
क्या समझ नहीं आया आपको?
So, like, if all the, is carbon in protein?
Yes, see, what is protein? Proteins are different type of amino acids. Amino acids. So amino acids, amino is like nitrogen. So when there is a compound made up of carbon, hydrogen and nitrogen, it differentiate on the basis of different atoms. So these are all like glycine, alanine, serine, isoleucine, threonine, metathionine. So these are different compound of proteins. These are the different type of proteins which are absorbed by our body. हम लोग different form, जो भी हम खाना खाते हैं उसमें अलग अलग तरह के प्रोटीन्स होते हैं. तो इस प्रोटीन में जो ये कार्बन होता है, दिस कार्बन रिएक्ट विद ऑक्सीजन एंड ऑक्सीडाइज्ड. तो जो भी एनर्जी हमारी बॉडी को मिलनी होती है वो मिल जाती है हमारी बॉडी को एनर्जी. एंड रेस्ट ऑफ द कार्बन
We exhale.
exhale in the sense it becomes CO2 and goes out from our body. समझ में आया आपको how protein does react? These are the proteins.
But if a protein is come from an animal, and when the animal decay, wait.
The protein is coming from animal means we have already eaten that chicken. Why that chicken will decay?
Oh
We
yeah,
already
why
eaten
would
that
it decay?
animal which already died, like जैसे चिड़िया
That
मर
we
जाती.
didn't eat.
We didn't eat. वो कभी ऐसा होता है ना फॉरेस्ट में भी तो उनकी भी तो शेल्फ लाइफ होती है. ऐसा थोड़ी ना कि हम सब एनिमल्स को खा लेते हैं. There must be some shelf life of animals also, shelf life of
So I get
insects
it.
also.
The ones that we eat, they never decay.
Yeah.
The carbon is always in their bodies, so we eat it.
Yeah, then
I get it.
The animal which we have eaten, that carbon already goes into our body.
Okay. I understand now. Do you want to show them the picture?
No, you don't need to show that picture. So you understood. Now we will talk about fossil. And so carbon कहाँ से cycle हुआ? Carbon already in the atmosphere, then carbon is in the air, then carbon is in the plants, then carbon is in the animals, then carbon have two paths. वापस कैसे जाते हैं?
Carbohydrates and like
वो कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स और प्रोटीन्स जो हमारी बॉडी में होती है उसके थ्रू हम उसको CO2 बनाते हैं और फिर से साइकिल की तरह फिर से एटमॉस्फेयर में चले जाते. नाउ हाउ द फॉसिल एंड फ्यूल्स. द वर्ल्ड गेट्स मोस्ट ऑफ इट्स एनर्जी फ्रॉम फॉसिल एंड फ्यूल्स. यू नो व्हाट इज फॉसिल?
yeah,
व्हाट इज
It's-
फॉसिल?
like dead animal like bones.
Yes, it's for long period of time it's remain in the
Like dinosaur fossils because they went extinct 65 million years ago.
Yeah, fossil fuel from deep inside the earth. Over time, the bodies of plants and animals that have died break down and sink down into the earth. After millions of years, these bodies, including those of dinosaurs, become fossil fuels. Fossil fuel are rich in carbon from decaying plants and animals. The three basic fossil fuels are oil, coal and natural gas. So जो भी ऑयल होता है, गैस होता है और कोल होता है, वो फॉसिल से ही बनता है अर्थ के अंदर. तभी तो बोलते हैं ना, दीज आर लाइक non-renewable energies. They are not coming too much. They have a limited amount of coal, limited amount of oil, and limited amount of natural gas inside the earth. Okay, oil is used to make the liquid gas we put in our cars. Electricity for our homes is made in power plants from oil and gas. Some people, yes, some people use natural gas to heat their homes and cook food, like LPG, liquid petroleum gas. जो गैस से खाना बनता है, that is LPG.
Oh, so like the gas from the stove is also non-renewable?
Yeah, we take out the gas, take out the fossils from the earth, and then we process it into gas, and then we use it in our daily life. You know, when fossil fuel burn, the carbon in the fuel joined with oxygen atoms and the air to create again carbon dioxide. तो जब गैस burn होती है तो फिर से ऑक्सीजन, मैंने आपको बताया ना, किसी कहीं पे भी फायर के लिए वी नीड ऑक्सीजन. बिना ऑक्सीजन के फायर हो ही नहीं सकती. तो whenever we burn the gas, then it reacts with oxygen, then it again makes CO2. When it again makes CO2, again it is in the atmosphere. Okay?
But how do they burn together?
तो हम जब गैस जलाते हैं, अगर यहाँ पे हमारे घर में अगर ऑक्सीजन की कमी होगी तो गैस तो जलेगी ही नहीं ना. इफ देयर इज नो ऑक्सीजन, वो गैस जब निकलती है तो व्हेन इट रिएक्ट्स विद द ऑक्सीजन, देन ओनली इट बर्न्स. इवन कैंडल वाला आपने एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था ना, कैंडल बर्न करते, अगर उसके ऊपर ग्लास रख दो तो वो बुझ जाती है कैंडल. राइट, वी नीड कैंडल नीड टू come in the contact of oxygen, then only it will burn.
One time me and my mom did an experiment. We have a candle and then it was lighted up with fire already. Then we had a glass and we put the glass over it, surrounding it. But now there's no oxygen because all the oxygen is trapped outside the glass. So then the fire immediately
Stop burning.
Yeah, stop burning.
Upsetting the cycle. The carbon cycle has been in balance for millions of years. Today, scientists are concerned that people are upsetting that cycle. The world uses fossil fuel for heat, electricity, and running cars. Burning fossil fuel creates a large amount of carbon dioxide. People are also cutting down the forest to make room for towns and farms. During photosynthesis, trees use carbon dioxide to make oxygen, providing balance in the carbon cycle. Many scientists believe too much carbon dioxide is harming our atmosphere. The atmosphere is a mixture of gases that surrounds Earth. Earth's atmosphere acts like a blanket. It keeps some of Earth's heat from escaping into the space. As the atmosphere collects more carbon dioxide, it holds in more of Earth's heat. Some scientists believe Earth is slowly getting warmer. That is called global warming. Okay, so the carbon cycle in our world, you understand how the carbon cycle is moving?
I understand.
You understand? So carbon has been cycling through our world since the beginning of the time. In nature, carbon combines with other elements to create many compounds. These carbon compounds help carbon move through the carbon cycle. Scientists have also created compounds in the lab called synthetic compounds.
Synthetic, not natural.
Non-natural, made in the lab. Many synthetic compounds made with carbon have become an important part of our lives. We use the synthetic carbon compounds called plastic every day. Plastic bottles hold food such as milk, peanut butter, ketchup, video games, or so many things. Carbon is an important element in our world. All living things have carbon. Living things also depend on carbon as it cycles through air, plants, animals, and on the earth to stay alive. Now, whatever okay.
I have a comment. So also the carbon can be upsetting to nature because if plastic is made out of carbon, when we throw away plastic, we don't really reuse like plastic bottles a lot. Most people don't do that. Plastic almost never breaks down. It might take millions and thousands of years for it to break down, and which is polluting our oceans and like our earth.
Yes, you're right. So Anya, now you understood the carbon cycle. Whatever the cycle I have explained you, can you draw in your notebook the carbon cycle?
Okay.
And I'll show you the picture and you just draw it. Try to
Okay.
draw it.
So now my mom finished explaining about the carbon cycle, and now I'm going to draw this photo over here. It's basically about the carbon cycle and how it moves in the air. So I'm gonna draw. I have my markers up right over here, and yeah, I'm going to draw it. First, we're going to draw the sunlight from where they get photosynthesis, from where plants get photosynthesis. So yeah. So this is my sun for my drawing. It's it's very light in color, so I don't think you can see it, but yeah, it's there. I'm gonna darken it a little bit. Okay, we got our sun. Now with the black pen, I'm gonna label everything in the black. So I'm gonna draw this arrow down, and I'm gonna label it photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Okay. Now I'm going to draw my tree. We need this green over here and brown. You know it shouldn't be perfect, but I'm just gonna try it. I'm not trying to be a good artist here. Okay, so this is the tree on the ground, and here are its roots. Okay, I'm gonna draw a label. Carbon from rotting plants and animals. Carbon from living things. Okay, now from the tree, I'm gonna draw this. I think I'm drawing pretty big.
It's okay. You can do.
Okay. This is my arrow. This arrow is going to represent the carbon. Okay, so I got my arrow here. I'm gonna label it carbon from living things. Okay, now carbon from living things. We're gonna draw a cow over here. Let's see. Can you use this color? Now this is gonna be labeled animal respiration, because when animals like exhale carbon dioxide, which makes carbon back into the atmosphere. animal respiration. And I'm also gonna label here dead plants and animals and waste products. And then it's gonna be like fossil fuels. Okay, so now we're gonna draw this arrow over here to draw another tree. This plant, I'm gonna label it plant respiration because the plants and trees breathe in carbon dioxide. And also in the side right here, I'm gonna use the gray color. Ooh, accidentally dropped it. I'm gonna use the gray color to draw a factory. Just pollution from autos and I'm gonna label it pollution from autos and factories. Oh, sorry, this was actually the gray color. I accidentally got blue. Anyways. Here, these are like the different factories, which are gonna give out like a lot of pollution. And here, I'm gonna label it pollution from autos and factories. And here I'm going to label it root respiration. Okay, so and here I'm gonna draw, at the bottom I'm gonna draw a little like river. And I'm gonna label it ocean uptake. I'm just gonna label it with blue. Okay, so this is how my cycle turned out. This is it. I know it's not a perfect circle, but it's still good. So this is the sun, sun, and the plants are doing photosynthesis to make their own food. And oh, I forgot to write something. Okay, so this is the tree can make photosynthesis, and also when trees and plants, an animal die over here, they release carbon dioxide into the air. So this is carbon from living things, and here there's a cow I drew, and I labeled it dead plants and animal and waste products. That means when an animal dies, it gets decayed and then carbon dioxide gets into the air. Also, when animals breathe in, they take in oxygen, and when they breathe out, they put back carbon dioxide back into the air. So I labeled it animal respiration. And if the animals die, it becomes fossil fuels. Also, here is another tree. I labeled it like root respiration because like trees, they're when they breathe in carbon dioxide. It says plant respiration. And in the side, this is not part of the process, but this is also how carbon gets released into the air. Factories can put pollution and carbon into the air. And then it just repeats. So yeah, this is my illustration, and I hope you liked the video. Bye.